Hi, it's Patty. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to make a 3D project, this cute little gift or treat container. And I'm making it for Mother's Day to an incredible woman. You can make it for any reason. I'm using the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper and Gorgeous Grape. I love this. And it has some candy inside. I'm not going to open it up because then I'll have to tie it back up again. But you'll see as I make the next one how to make it work. So I got this idea from Angie Judah from Chicken Scratch. She made this with some other paper. I made it a little bit different. I made a circle here. She had done it with some ovals, but unfortunately the layering ovals are retiring, so I wanted to use something different. And I wanted to use one die set. Actually, I used the Hydrangea die set for those, but for the labels, I used these two. And then for that circle, I use this one. So I tried to keep it in one little family here. And then the flowers were cut with this. So this is great. It cuts 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 all at once. So I only needed 3, so I have some leftovers. And let's get started. I have my pieces cut. And I'll have all the directions on my blog, pspapercrafts.com, so don't worry if you miss anything. So the first thing we're going to do, this is an 11 long by 3 1/4, and we want to go ahead and score it. And we're going to score it at, let's see, let me just look, 4 3/4 and 6 1/4. So I have my little cheat sheet here. So 4 3/4, 1, 2, 3. So we'll score it there. Make sure I use my scoring blade, the light one. And then I have to open up the arm. And I actually had a hard time figuring out where in the world you go from 6 to 7 and it's all in there. But I did figure it out. So this would be 6 1/2. So I'm going to pull it into 6 3/4. It looks funny. Hopefully it's right. I looked at it and I was like, I should probably use my scoring tool. So let's see if it lines up. It does. Okay. So it's this kind of line that you can't see or it's not clear. Okay. So we have this piece. Then we need this other piece, which is 5 by 3 3/8. So 5 by 3 3/8. And we're going to score this on every side at 1 inch. So this kind of makes the bottom, makes it secure, gives it a little bit of structure. So I'm just going to turn it around and score it on each side at 1 inch. Whoops. Wrong one. That would have been a big mistake. We don't want to cut it. So on this trimmer, you have the light one is scoring and the dark one is cutting. So it's nice because you can get it all done at once. So I'm just going to get my scissors and I want to cut in on these. You only want to cut this way. I'll show you in a minute. You don't want to cut up here. You only want to cut on this one. And you're going to cut like a little kind of wedge. You're going to cut that out just so that it folds nicely. So we'll do this on each of these 4 pieces. Okay, so we have all of that done. Let's push that aside. And so now we have it kind of wedged this side and this side on all of them. Okay, so now we can make our box, and I'm going to use liquid glue. You want something strong. You can use the Stamp & Seal Plus if you have tear and tape, which we don't carry anymore. It's retiring. Kind of sad about that. But the Stamp & Seal Plus is good. But these are so small, I want to just do it with the liquid glue. And this is very strong. It gives you a minute. You just have to kind of hold it. But you can move it around, which is nice, before it permanently adheres. Okay. So I'm just going to hold that for a few seconds. We'll work on this one. So we'll just put a little bit of glue here and here while we're holding it. And we'll get these in place. And we're going to put this aside till later, but you'll see how we use it once we make our other part of the box. I don't know if you call it a box, a package, whatever you call it. It's cute though. I love it. I love this purple. So put that aside. We have these, and these pieces, again, I'll have it on my blog if you want to get the sizes, but the DSP is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and the white is 4 3/8 by 2 7/8. I did mine a little bit different. I always change it up a little bit because I wanted it to have just a little bit of the white border peeking through. So I'm really a little bit tight with it, and that's where the liquid glue comes in handy because you can maneuver it if you need to. So we have that done. Before I cut it, I'll do my stamping, and I'm taking the stamp is from this To an Incredible Woman, and I think that's a great one for Mother's Day package or little gift. And I put candy in it. You could put a little, I don't know, a little small present, jewelry. Jewelry is always good, right? Chocolate or jewelry. So I'm just lining this up. It's photopolymer, so it makes it easy to get it straight. And we'll put that aside. Close this up. That's all the stamping we're really doing. And let's actually put it down on the other side. So again, these labels, I love these labels. I made a card yesterday. I think I used these two. But I used this one for the sentiment, and then this one is the background. So it's nice. I love this too, but it's too wide. This one with this one. If you have a long on a card, it's great. So let's just put this together. Get it centered. That looks good. We'll put this aside. So the next thing we want to do, we've got to get this all lined up, right? So I'm using the small circle in this. And the first thing I want to do is just run it through just like this. Okay, and let me get my stamp and cut and emboss machine. And if you want to make sure it's nice and centered and everything, you can put a piece of Post-it note on. So you want it toward the top, and just make sure it's nice and centered. I think that looks good. And we just want to run it through. Okay. And then we'll pop this piece out. I don't know if I'll use it for something. It's kind of cute. It'd be good for bingo or something, but I guess it's too big as your piece that you use for your markers. So now we have this, and we want to line this up, but we don't want to run this whole thing through again. So what I did was I just put this underneath. So I have the cutting down, and I'll put it underneath and get it lined up where I think it should go. Make sure this is all nice and straight. Make sure this is even, and you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we want to take this off and run this through. Now this is where you could put a piece of Post-it note down if you wanted to, but I'm just going to go with it. Of course, I moved it a little bit, but I think it's okay. And then we'll just lay this on top, and I'll run it through. And I'm going to run it through and back because I don't want this end to get caught and get folded. Sometimes if you have a piece of paper hanging off the side, it will, when it goes through, it will cut it. So here we have this. So let's see how it looks. we'll be able to adhere that. That looks good. And then we want to do the same thing to the back. So what I did, kind of did the same thing. I got it all lined up. I put this on the inside. There's probably a better way of doing this, but this worked for me. I know with the, if you did have the layering ovals, what the other demonstrator did was it fit right in, but because this is doing embossing and cutting, it doesn't just like fit into the groove. Hope that makes sense. So that looks good. Let's open this up. I'm going to send it through. I like working from this side better. Again, you could put Post-it note on if you want to keep it right where you want it. And then we'll run it through. I think that's the trickiest part of the whole thing. And it really wasn't that bad, right? So let's get that out of the way. We can move this aside. And now we have the basic of our box. I see my candy's falling out. Just gonna shove it right back in there. All right, so now we want to glue this down. So I'll use my liquid glue again. I really used the liquid glue for the whole project today. It really gives you that time to get everything in the right place. And we'll just put this there. Looks good. Okay, and then we want to do our decorating. So let's put this together. I guess I already did put it together. I have my little, so this is Gorgeous Grape, and then I cut these out with Highland Heather. So let's put a couple of these in place. So just put a dab of glue and put that right there. Put one down here. And then one more. You can put more on if you want. And if you don't have the dies, there are some small flowers that you could stamp. You could do these, or you could do parts of this or parts of this. So I have the dies, so I figured I would use these little cutie flowers because I love them. So let's put our dimensionals on the back because we want to pop this up. See, it's coming together very easy. It's a pretty simple thing. I'm not good at creating these. I'm good at copying them though. And I think that's what a lot of people do. You know, you go and you look for something and you copy it. Make it your own, but give credit to the person who is the originator of it, which is Angie. Okay, now I want to put in some of these rhinestones, because you have to have rhinestones in your flowers, otherwise they kind of just blend in. See the difference? It just gives it a whole lot of something extra. A little bit of bling, right? Goes a long way. So here we have kind of the outside of our box. Now we want to put the inside in. So I'll just put some liquid glue on this. And we'll place this right in the center. Try to get it as centered as you can. That looks good. And there we have it. We just have to put a bow on it. So I wanted to show you some other candies. So I have, these are my favorite because they have the big almonds in them. The other thing you can do is you can get a little cello bag and put other candies in and tie it up, and just make sure it doesn't go above here. So these are the two kind of candies. So let's put this aside, and then we want to get our ribbon out. So I'm using this Gorgeous Grape sheer ribbon, And I'm just going to put it through and give myself a long enough end. So this is easy for someone to get in and out of too. You could tie a double knot or something. I didn't. I just tied the bow. If I can get it here. Easier said than done. Let me just fuss with it a little bit. I think this is an easier position here. And I'm not going to fuss with it too long. You get the idea. And there we go. So these are the two. Same thing. Different candies, different treats for different moms. So thanks for joining me. I just wanted to mention that the new catalog is out. Well, it's not out. It's out for us. I can show you the cover. This is the cover. I can't show you the inside. Starting May 4th, you can start ordering from this. Now, if you've ordered from me in the past year, I will send you a catalog. And I send a bookmark with the new in colors and some information. And I also will have a paper share where you get a quarter of a pack of all the new papers, the new designer series papers. And I'm doing an in color club. So each month for 5 months, you'll get the new in colors. There's 5 of them and they last for 2 years. So you can order that and you'll get the cardstock, the ink pad, the marker. You can add blends if you want. You'll get ribbon and the designer series paper for the in colors, and then the gems that are out. So all of that, look on my my blog. I don't have it out there yet. All of this is coming. If you get the catalog, you'll get this information. I will send an email as well, and I'll have it on my blog shortly, the paper share and the in color club. But email me, Patti at pspapercrafts.com, if you would like me to send you a catalog and you have not ordered in the last year. If you have, you'll look for it in your mail. I'm going to hopefully get them out next week. All right. You guys take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.